Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 8th East Asia Conference with the theme, The Impact of Competition Policy and Law to the Market Economy. To deliver the welcome address, may we now call on the Secretary of the Department of Justice, Honorable Leila de Lima.
Thank you. His Excellency, the President Benigno S. Aquino III, co-workers in government, our partners in the private sector, distinguished delegates to this conference, a good morning to everyone. On behalf of the Department of Justice of the Republic of the Philippines, I sincerely welcome you, the delegates, especially those who have traveled a distance to be with us at the 8th East Asia Conference on Competition, Law and Policy. We are pleased, very pleased, that our event is graced by His Excellency, President Benigno S. Aquino III, who shall provide his vision and directions for competition to be a cornerstone of reforms in governance and the rule of law in the service of inclusive growth and development. It is my task not only to formally open this event, but to share with you all some of the things we have done for our very own Office for Competition, or C, which we simply call it, of the Department of Justice, to host this year's series of the most prestigious conference on competition policy and law in Asia. Please allow me to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Kazuyuki Sugimoto, Chairman of the Japan Fair Trade Commission, Dr. Eugene Jing, Capacity Building and Training Director of the Asian Development Bank Institute. You may stand to be acknowledged, please. Mr. Rod Sims, Chairman of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Mr. Muhammad Nawir Messi, Chairman of the Commission for the Supervision of Business Competition, or KPPU. Dr. Jung Weon Yoon, pardon any mispronunciation on my part, Commissioner of the Korea Fair Trade Commission, Ms. Sheila Dorai Raj, Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysia Competition Commission, Ms. Yena Hua Yen, Chief Executive of the Competition Commission of Singapore, Ms. Diana Wei An Chai, Commissioner of the Taiwan Fair Trade Commission, Mr. Mong Van Bak, Director General of the Vietnam Competition Authority. These are the participants from the East Asia economies. From sector regulators, notably the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the Department of Trade and Industry, Energy Regulatory Commission, National Telecommunications Commission, National Water Resources Board, Philippine Ports Authority, Securities and Exchange Commission, Sugar Regulatory Administration, and Tariff Commission. The academe, especially from the Asian Institute of Management, Ateneo de Manila Law School, University of the Philippines College of Law, and UP Small Scale Industries. The business community, including the Federation of Philippine Industries, Inc., Korean Chamber of Commerce, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Philippine Association of Supermarkets, Inc., Philippine Exports Confederation, Inc., and Sugar Mills Association, and our partners from Congress, National Consumer Affairs Council, the National Economic Development Authority, Philippine Information Agency, and Philippine Institute of Development Studies. Thank you all for being here. The theme of the conference, the impact of competition policy and law to the market economy, is very close to our mandate and our hearts. We in government and in the Department of Justice exist to make sure that justice is not only an ideal or a principle, but a living day-to-day actual experience of how the state can and should relate to its citizens. For what is justice in the abstract is in essence the sense of fairness that we owe one another, whether as brothers or sisters, colleagues in the service, citizens, or consumers. And that is precisely what our Office for Competition is setting out to do. While ours is one of the youngest competition authorities in the world, we are committed to fulfilling our core mandate as part of the President's reform agenda. So please allow me to share our little competition story since our establishment in 2011. First, in realizing the magnitude of the tasks ahead, we created a governance structure of working groups in 5 areas, namely advocacy and partnerships, business and economics, enforcement and legal, consumer protection and welfare, and policy and planning. The idea was to engage a major government agency as a partner and co-chair for better coordination and results. We are pleased to mention that this is now in place with the signing of the formal terms of reference with the Tariff Commission, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Bureau of Internal Revenue, Department of Trade and Industry, and Philippine Institute for Development Studies. This is now the operative framework, and the core responsibilities are aligned with the functions of the OFC to help perform our mandate. Truly, as no one person can do the job, no one office can make competition rules work. 2, we proceeded to establish a bigger body called the Sector Regulatory Council, or SRC. As you may be informed, the Philippines has more than 30 competition laws implemented by at least 60 agencies. The purpose of the Sector Regulators Council is to provide focus and rhythm by clustering the different sector regulators and prioritizing the transport, energy, and communication sectors. 3, our national advocacy program is now firmly in place, beginning with the designation and observance of an annual National Competition Day every 5th of December, pursuant to a presidential proclamation. We also introduced another first in the country, a competition policy and law course as part of the curriculum for law and business graduate students in a premier educational institution. We have identified the training needs of judges, prosecutors, and investigators that is captured in a capacity building roadmap in tandem with the Supreme Court and our very own department. These are on top of our continuing outreach programs for the sector regulators, the business community, consumer groups, and other stakeholders. The rest of the competition story can now be found in our Year 1 and Year 2 annual reports as part of your conference kit. And we did all this with only 2 people in 2010. The OFC of 2013 is now composed of 12 full-time and 20 seconded staff. Thank you, Mr. President, for the support. This has allowed us to do some of our tasks, we shall continue to work harder and harder. This welcome address will not be complete without specially mentioning our main development partners, namely Japan International Cooperation Agency, European Union, GIZ, or the German Cooperation Agency, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, United States Agency for International Development, World Bank International Finance Corporation. I leave it to the rest of the Office for Competition staff to render a full and detailed report on the development here and regionally, the Philippines being the current chair of the ASEAN Expert Group on Competition. In ending, I also wish you all the best of luck in the back-to-back activity, the 9th East Asia top-level officials meeting on competition policy. I hope you will allow me, and perhaps the President, to peek into the closed-door meeting exclusively for officials of the competition authorities and agencies to discuss the challenges in competition law enforcement and to foster closer cooperation within the East Asia region. I urge everyone to take full advantage of these twin activities to learn and share your knowledge and experiences. We thank you for coming. We thank the Japan Fair Trade Commission, the Asian Development Bank Institute, for their continuous effort in striving to organize this event almost annually since 2004, and to Japan International Cooperation Agency, our one constant partner in competition reforms. Thank you, and as we say in Filipino, to wish you all the best, mabuhay. Thank you.